Alright, it looks like we are live. That's what I was waiting on. Welcome back. I am continuing the paint job from last time. I am trying to finish this mermaid up today. I'll try and fix the face, because I messed up some of these face details. The eyes, really janky looking. But, you're welcome to watch with me, and I just have some music on. Just let me know if it's too loud or if it needs to be a little louder. And yeah, I'll be talking throughout. And yeah, welcome to the stream. Left by. Yep, that didn't work. Okay, let's get most of the color out of that. It's just very, very bright with the white. Fix the hair while I'm in here. Yeah, the white is very saturated and hard to see that it's hard to cover up. I'm gonna start on the clothing now. Not the clothing, the armor. And the way I can see in here, it's a little shoulder pad. Actually gonna switch to a little finer of a brush. And I think I might go with a metallic. Mix the paint up real quick. Go with this bronze that I have. Worked well on the mimic that I did. I don't need a ton, just a little bit. So I am going to be working a really small area. Alright. How is everybody doing tonight? Well, I hope I have my chat up, so I should be able to see if anybody messages. Also gonna need to go get glasses soon, I think, because this is challenging for me to see. Comes with the territory of being the elder one. Let's see. I want you guys to be able to see this. want to put the paint on too thick or else you cover up the detail that's in there. There's a bit of detail. This bangle. I'm not a huge fan of quite how shiny this is, but that'll improve. Ooh, that's too much. A little trick that I do for the bangle here. It's a nice bronze color. A little shiny, a little metallic. We'll weather that a little bit. This part down here is also going to be metallic. Doesn't quite look like clothing. So I'm just realizing that that bronze is very close to the color I chose for the hair, which is reddish. I might regret that later, going with the bronze instead of a silver. But for now, it's alright. Oh, one thing I just realized. I never painted this other hand. So I need to do that. Not dark enough. And I think that's better. Yeah. Should probably do the base first. But I'm gonna get a little more coverage on that hand. Just because it's really bugging me. But so, if anybody's watching, how's it going? Busy with anything? I don't really keep up with much in like uh, public news or anything. So if there's anything of interest happening, let me know. Darker now. I think I might go with a withered gray color for this. Maybe a like lightish bluish gray. Wet palette's not quite wet enough. Use a little bit better of a brush with this next little bit. The hardest thing is still just keeping focus. For you guys, because for me, it's nice to be able to see, but for you, you don't want to be staring at my forehead. Maybe I should try to get a different view. You guys with my webcam. Bluish gray. Almost done. Yeah, I dropped that. That's how I roll. Make sure I have decent coverage on that. Let it dry for a second. Maybe aid it a little bit. Mix a little bit more white in. Sort of. Go over, make sure some of the higher spots are a little more colored, a little more highlighted. And sorry, I keep moving it out of frame. Pull back just a little bit for you guys. Should help. Oh yeah, that's much better. Still have to keep it, but you guys can see a little bit better, so that's good. Let me change the music up. Guess while I'm waiting for this, I can get my trick for that bronze ready to dull it down a little bit. It's gonna be this really nasty green color that I have. Not gonna need a ton of it either. I'm gonna try a technique that's called dry brushing and just sort of put some green on it because she's been underwater, so This would be covered with a little bit of like algae and rust. It would age it a little bit. Let's see. Try to get a little bit better of a close up. Just adding a little bit of green. Not enough to really color it, but just enough to add a little bit of age and like wear. Take some of that brightness away. A little bit finer of a brush. Add in a little bit darker of a blue underneath here. I don't want to color too much. So just a little darker under the clothing. Still a pretty bright blue, but it's just being added in as the inside color of her little shawl sleeve thing. Yeah, I think I got as much as I'm going to be able to with that. And let's see if I can attempt to fix this face. Mm-hmm. Okay, looks like I've restored most of the pinkish color to. Do want to get a little bit more of this hair color. Touch that up real quick. Don't bleed too much onto the face. I'm realizing it's not quite the right highlight that I wanted. Add that in. Gotta punch the color a little bit more. Particularly on the high spots of her hair. Let's try this face again. Start with the darker shade. Darker shade, then you go slightly lighter. Slightly. Good. The nose, forehead, and left side of the face. It's a little closer to the sun. I'm gonna go with my most detailed brush. And go with my lightest color. The edge of the nose highlight. Touch the chin. And just a spot above the forehead. Right, now the most dreaded portion of this. At least for me, because eyes are really hard on the minis that I've found. So, I'm gonna be lifting this up closer to my face. Try to show you what I do, or what I'm going to attempt to do. First step is to outline it with black, which is terrifying. Chicken now, I don't want to mess it up. Honestly, the best that I've done so far. It's not horrible. It's not quite right, but I might actually leave that like that. If you were close, you wouldn't really be able to tell that anyway, so I think I'm going to leave those there. A little bit more. A little bit more. Oh, that was way too much moisture. so now, since I messed that up, having too much moisture in it, need to go back through, touch it up with a little bit of this paint. And I'm going to add, bright red eyebrows on the fairy. That is what I'm gonna call face. Might add a little bit of color to the lips, just to. Most people tend to have color on their lips. Fleshy pink color. Yeah, it's a good one. A little more horrifying than I intended. But the color is there. And this is only the second or third mini that I've painted that had a face. So I'm gonna call that good. I want to fix the eye socket. Just seems to be very dark now. But I could add a little more color to the cheeks. A little more of this like fleshy tone. A little more natural. Alright, I think I'm getting pretty close. What I want to do is touch up this base a little bit. I'm gonna stick with a black around the edge and the back, but the actual stones, I'm gonna try some dry brushing on. I think she's turning out well. A bit of moisture so the paint sticks. It stays a little wet, but then that pretty much just do a teeny amount by tiny amount by a tiny amount. Actually, I'm going to do an actual normal coat of the gray. Not that you're gonna really be able to tell. I does not want to stick to this primer. Hmm. You at least need to cover the spot near the tail that is not part of the tail. They messed up on the tail. I should have done the base first. Smart thing. But you live and you learn. And that's something I learned this time. Do bases first. Luckily for me, I have a little trick that I'm going to use. After I give some green ocean coloration to these rocks. They would have algae growing on them, so a little bit more. Right. Clean these brushes out real quick. And putting on what is called a wash, which is a really running ink mix is the one I'm going to use. It's going to fill in these cracks and crevices a little bit. It also has a little bit more of a sheen to it, but it is very liquidy. So you don't use a good brush for it. Use kind of a crappy brush. I don't want to overpower the mermaid herself too much. I'll avoid actually hitting the mermaid at all if I can. just because you can see how dark this is. I almost just spilled the whole container. See, it's runny, pulls down in the bottom, cracks and crevices. We'll pull in any of the details of the mermaid as well, so you want to avoid hitting anywhere that you don't want to have, like, darkened by the wash. Actually do want it pretty dark down here at the base. Oh, that's way too much. That is what I would call a mistake. Rinse that out a bit. Final step, I'm going to take something green again. And stipple the green on as, yeah, like a brighter accent. And that'll be it pretty much for the painting. I'm pretty satisfied with what I've gotten. Just realized I got a little bit of the wash on the tail. Spread that out a bit. Overall, for my first mermaid, I think I did a pretty good job. Just gonna let that dry a little bit. I'll get the black ready to paint. Actually, I think I already have black here. I don't know if it's, yeah, it's still wet enough. So I will do that right now while we're here live still, and you can see the finished product. I think when I do tomorrow's stream, it'll probably be an illithid as the next thing I paint. It's either gonna be that, or I might try another creature rather than a humanoid, which I don't know if you'd consider illithids humanoids or not, but I probably would. It's always been my interpretation of them. What do you guys think? Illithid slash Mind Flayer, humanoid or just monster? Looking at this, I'm thinking I might want to paint this inner portion black. Still has some ink in there. But definitely, I think I could get in. I don't know if I could get away with it. I like the idea of the black, but I don't know if it's gonna look great. Yeah, I think it will. Inside there's gonna be the hardest part to get though. I'm gonna have to go with a little bit smaller of a brush. Number 3 is really big. Let's hope I have enough black ready. Ugh, it's really thick. Okay, I was able to paint it all. I think I did get some of the mermaid. A little bit darker than I wanted. So I'm gonna come back in. Dark, dark shade of green. Just gonna cover up that black that I got on. Oops, extra liquid. Alright, there we go. I'm calling that done. Don't know that I can improve anymore on it right now. So yeah, we are done. And with that, I am going to end the stream for tonight. I think it was a little bit shorter of a stream than I actually intended it to be, but I didn't realize I was so close to the end result for this. So yeah, thank you guys for stopping in and watching, and I appreciate every one of you for watching. I don't know if anybody actually watched, but if you did, I appreciate it. And if you didn't, well, then I guess if you want to, well, I mean, if you didn't see it, then you're not seeing this right now. But I appreciate everybody who took time out of their day to watch me mess up painting Mermaid Mini for one of my D&D players. Appreciate you. This is a Shout out to Katie Bug. This is Mermaid for her. And I haven't decided the next one quite yet. I think it will be the Mind Flayer, but when I decide, I will give a shout out to that player as well. And yeah, I hope everybody has a good night and have fun. If you enjoyed this or want to see me do something else, just let me know. And yeah, have a good night. Thanks, love y'all.